Good morning students. Today we are going to see the internal RAM organization of 8051 microcontroller. So it is the internal RAM organization as we have discussed earlier. It has got 4 register bank, bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, bit addressable area and byte addressable area. The bit addressable area is of 16 bytes and the byte addressable area is of 80 bytes. Each register bank it is of 88 bit. You can see here register bank 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is bank 0 8-bit register and again bank 1 8-bit register, bank 2 8-bit register. So each bank have 8-bit registers. It starts with 00. So it is of 8 bits, right? So 00 to 07 it is bank 0. 08 to 0E it is bank 08 to 0F it is bank 1. 10 to 17 it is bank 2. Whatever I am saying now it is address of bank register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2 and register bank 3. It is your bit addressable area. You can access it like a bit, set bit, clear bit. When you are using those instruction, you can use this bit addressable area, and it is your general purpose memory, general purpose RAM. So it is 80 bytes. It starts with 30 and it ends with F7. So it is the memory structure of your 8051 microcontroller. So 8051 microcontroller has internal RAM, internal SFR. Even this internal SFR is sometimes used for storing your data. So it is completely your internal memory. It is your memory chip of 8051, and externally we have RAM and ROM. So external ROM is used to store your instruction and external RAM is used to store your data, whose address, it is a 16-bit address, falls between 000H 0000H to FFFFH. So it is of 16-bit register. External code memory. Code memory is nothing but your program memory. Program memory is nothing but we will be storing the instruction. It is of 64 bytes. It is the standard size. Its core memory size is limited to 64 kilobytes and it is standard in 8051 microcontroller. So the code memory is nothing but your read-only memory. As we know, program memory or code memory is same, where ROM will be acting to store your instructions or programs. Data will be stored in your RAM. The code memory size is limited to 64 kilobyte. Here data memory size is also limited up to 64 kilobyte, and data memory is supported in case of your 8051 microcontroller. So it is read-write memory, random access memory or read-write memory, and it is available for storing your data. Next is your internal memory. So internal memory, as we discussed earlier, we have register banks. Register banks address from 00H to 1F. You can see in this figure, register bank stands from 0000H to 1F. Register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2. This is register bank 2 and it is your register bank 3. So the address starts from 00 to 1F, and bit addressable area from 20H to 30H. From 30H to 7Fh, it is your byte addressable area, that is 80 bytes from totally 128 bytes of internal RAM. So here we have the internal memory has internal RAM as well as your internal SFR. Internal RAM address from 00 to 7Fh. SFR stands from 80H to FFH. So when you are writing your internal memory, it is of 256 memory bytes organized as follows. That is register banks, bit addressable area, general purpose and special function. Register bank address stands from 00 to 1F, bit addressable area stands from 20H to 2F, general purpose RAM stands from 30 to 7F, and special function registers, it is next 128 byte. It is from 80H to FFH. The first 28 bytes of internal memory is organized as shown below and is referred to as an internal RAM. That is the first 128 bytes. It is stored. here it is port 0. That SFR is there, right? So in the SFR is nothing but special function register. Each address corresponds to, suppose 80H means it corresponds to port 0. Port 1 corresponds to 90H. Port 2 corresponds to A0. Port 3 corresponds to B0. So you can access the port either directly by using the port number or by using this address you can access it. Even accumulator can be accessed either by using accumulator, that is A, or by using the address also you can access it. So accumulator address is E0, B register address is F0. Likewise, each special function register has its own address. Using this address you can access that register, or by its name you can do it. Next is your program status word or processor status word. So program status word, it is of 8 bit. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Suppose if I wanted to access 5th bit of PSW, I have to write PSW set B PSW.5. So here PSW.0 stands for parity. It is not in use. PSW.2 it is overflow. PSW.3 it is RS0, RS1. Why these two RS0 and RS1 is important in the sense, among that 4 bank of registers, that is register bank 0, register bank 1, register bank 2, register bank 3. Whatever data we are giving over here, based on that, that particular register bank will be selected. For example, if I am giving the RS1 as 0 and RS0, that is if I am giving set B PSW.3, it means that set B PSW.3 means RS0 will be equal to 1. Clear PSW.4, it means that here it will be 0. So when RS1 is 0, when RS0 is 1, your register bank 1 will be selected. So whatever register, that is R0, R1, R2, R3 you are using, that will be used from your register bank 1. So these 2 bits is responsible for selecting your register bank among the 4 bank of registers. Then F0. F0 is your user defined flag, and AC. AC is nothing but your auxiliary carry, and CY is your carry flag. So using this program status word, it is possible for us to identify the parity bit, whether the auxiliary carry bit is set or not, whether the carry bit is set or not, and user defined flag. And using these 2 bits, it is possible for us to select the register bank. So it is the basic structure of your program status word, where the program status word or processor status word, it is of 8 bit. The 3rd bit and 4th bit is responsible for selecting your register bank. Here I have explained it clearly. The first bit, that is D0, D1, starts with 0th bit. D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. D0 stands for parity flag. D1 stands for user defined flag. So it is not in use. OV, that is nothing but your overflow, that is your PSW 2nd bit. PSW 3rd bit and 4th bit is responsible for selecting your register bank among 4 banks of register. F0 is your general purpose flag or user defined general purpose flag. AC is your auxiliary carry flag. CY is your carry flag. So using this bit address like PSW.0, PSW.1, PSW.2, PSW.3, it is possible to make this carry flag set or reset, or by changing this particular bit, it is possible for us to, for example, if I write set B PSW.4, it means that set B PSW.4 means here it will be 1. Set B PSW.3. So RS in this particular bit, set means it is 1. So we have 1, 1. So when you have RS1, 1 and RS0, 1, your register bank 3 will be selected. This is how you can utilize this processor status word. Carry flag. So we know the carry flag, what is the difference between your carry flag and auxiliary carry flag? Carry flag is, that is after the complete addition, whatever data, so whatever it is setting, that will be your carry, that last bit represents your carry flag. Auxiliary carry means from third bit to fourth bit, if there is any carry forward, that is called as your auxiliary carry flag. So carry flag means you can say add a comma hash 3. So it means that in accumulator 3 will be there. For example, if accumulator contains FDH, that is FD is your data and we have to add 3 to the content. It means that the content of accumulator will be added to the content of 3. So here FD plus 3. So D plus 3 is D after EF11. So sorry 10. D after EF10. In that 0 will be your lower bit and 1 is your carry. So F we should write it as 1111. D we need to write it as 1011. So this is how we need to identify your carry bit. So if you want to write this FD, you have to write it as 1111. For D you have to write 1011. So 1011 is 12. 13 is D. So 1011 plus 3 if you add, you will get a carry and auxiliary carry. That is from third bit to fourth bit. If any number is carry forwarding, that is your auxiliary carry. And towards your seventh bit, that is last bit, if you are getting any additional bit, that is your carry flag. So the accumulator will contain 0 and the carry flag will be set. It is also set if a subtraction causes a borrow in the bit 7. So for example, if A contains 3DH and register R3 contains 4B means the instruction this is subtraction with the borrow. You are going to, the content of accumulator is going to get subtracted with the content of R3. So when you do so, the result will be the carry bit being set, because 4B, that is 4B data, hexadecimal data, is greater than your 3D hexadecimal data. So this is how you need to check whether your carry flag is set or reset. Parity means, so whether parity, there are two types of parity. One is your odd parity and another one is your even parity. You can consider the example 05. So 05 I can write it as 0, you have to write it in the form of a BCD. So 0 can be written as 0000, 5 is written as 0101 in binary. And you count the number of ones in this 05. So it is having even number of ones. Therefore, the parity is even parity, because the accumulator is comprises of even numbers, even number of ones. Therefore, the parity bit is set. Suppose if you are having F2H, F, you just expand this F2 data in the form of BCD. You can write 1111 F, 2 is 0010. In this, count the number of ones. So here, if you count the number of ones, the number of ones is odd. Therefore, the parity bit is set. So when you are having even number of ones, the parity bit is reset. That is resetted to 0. That is PSW.0 will be 0. If your accumulator is having odd number of ones, then your parity bit is set to make the overall number to be even. This is how you can detect using this parity bit, it is possible for us to detect the error. Next is your overflow flag. So here overflow flag, in the sense it is a bit 2 of your PSW, and it is possible, this helps us to identify your signed number or unsigned number. So when it is a signed number or added or subtracted, software can check this flag to see if the result is in the range between -128 to 127. Auxiliary carry means, you can see from third bit to fourth bit, if a carry is generated, that is called as your auxiliary carry. Or we can say, if this is a carry out from the lower nibble. Nibble is nothing but 4 bit is equal to 1 nibble. So from your lower nibble, if any carry is getting forwarded, then it is called as your auxiliary carry. So this is the general introduction of your program status word. So in the next class, we'll see how exactly you're going to interface your 8051 with the external RAM or ROM. Thank you, students.